projects.
Talk Today is brought to you by Fidelity Bank. For all your banking needs, visit fidelitygroup.com. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Oh, I think they're doing a great job. A lot of them are.
Good afternoon, Dwayne. How are you?
Not too bad, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today with Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
If you're ready to talk, we're willing to listen.
Well, I really enjoy this program today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
May God bless every person.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Talk Today. Thanks for joining us again this afternoon. If you've been listening in the past couple of days, you will have heard myself, Kathy Miller. I was co-hosting with Sterling Dwayne Ebanks, but today I'll be on my own. For today's lineup on Talk Today, we have open mic up until 1 o'clock p.m. So do give us a call if you want to talk about any of the issues that are going on locally. We have Hurricane Ida. We have the upcoming elections that will be a big focal point coming in 2021. And as well, we have the U.S. elections we can discuss and how that impacts Cayman. A lot of people are curious about that. From 1 o'clock, we have Rudy Miles, who will be joining us to discuss the Seaman Celebration Sabbath. At 1:30, we have Alfonso Wright, who will be discussing the upcoming deadline for Heroes Day nominations. And at 2 p.m., we have Cayman Water and Jasmine. They'll be here to speak about the upcoming Peter Ribbons Memorial Ride and Run. With that, we'll take you right back to a break.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email talktoday@candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255.
Courtesy of Flow.
Cayman's #1 network that connects you to your world like never before.
Let your voice be heard. Once again, here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining me, Kathy Miller, on Talk Today this afternoon. We have open line until 1 p.m., so do give us a call. For all our Flow customers, we have the number 1-800-534-8255. That's toll-free, free to call. Or you can call us on 949-8037 or 949-6990. You can also WhatsApp us if you don't want to. You can also WhatsApp us at 925-3261 if you have something to say, but you don't necessarily want your voice to be heard. We do have a caller already. That sounds good to me, Paul. I'm happy to hear that. Good afternoon, caller.
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, and I'm really impressed with the lineup today, but more importantly, to speak to you. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'd have to say this is my first time doing the open line segment and the first time doing Talk Today on my own, so I'm excited to hear what people have to say.
Thank you. I want to use this medium to promote something that we do at the John Gray Memorial Church. We have a program on the first Saturday in the month for our young parents in West Bay. And last Saturday we got rained out, so we think we have to make a little better effort to promote this for this Saturday at 10 o'clock.
What church did you say it was?
John Gray Memorial in West Bay.
Okay. And what's the program about?
The program is where we offer assistance with items for young children, Pampers and wipes. And we've been doing that now for 3 years, but we don't like to promote too much, but we love to do the things we do to help those in our community. So we have a number of parents that come, and they receive these items on a Saturday morning. So we'll be there on this Saturday morning at 10 o'clock.
At John Gray Memorial Church in West Bay.
Right.
So this is a call for people who might have extra baby items to give away, pass down to people who might need it?
Yes, we do accept that, but we are actually mainly offering them assistance in the way of Pampers and wipes.
Okay. Oh, so
and
you're okay.
milk.
Nice.
So we've been doing this program 3 years, but it's been constant. But since the COVID-19, we've had to really lock down because a lot of people that do the program are in the age group where we have illnesses that could expose us. But we've been doing a good job, and we are there for this Saturday coming. Because on last Saturday we had the bad weather,
Right, yes. We all, unfortunately, we know that.
Yeah, just to have the young ladies come out to, ladies or men that usually come to get items for their children.
Okay. How do they...
Congrats on your program, and I wish you all success.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that. If there are other families and parents that are in need of these items, how would they be able to, do they have to sign up to get these items or be a part of this program, or can they just come whenever they need the supplies?
But actually, sometimes it lessens and sometimes it gets more. But we like to know that they're living in the West Bay community.
Okay.
Because to take on the whole island would be a lot more than what we could come up with. But we're catering mainly, and we've got people that they're registered with us.
Okay.
But sometimes, we might not be able to get them on the phone. So I thought today would be a good day to promote this,
Yeah, absolutely. And if I get a chance throughout the show, which I'm sure I will make a reminder for parents who are looking for baby items, Pampers, formula, that they can come to John Gray Memorial Church in West Bay this Saturday.
At 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. What time will you be there until?
We're there from 10 to 11.
Oh, they have 1 hour. All right, that's a tight window, people. So you got to make it in if you're trying to get these supplies.
But we used to extend it, but we found that they would even come earlier than the 10, so we would have to deal with them when they came,
Right.
But we try to set 10 because it's all voluntary. So someone like me that goes out, that's an hour that I have to,
No, that's great.
That's that we do that.
Really helping and giving towards your community and helping to assist people in need.
And I think it'll get more in demand than ever. But we'll be there on Saturday morning at 10 o'clock.
Okay, curious. I have one question, and I hope you can answer it. But how do you get the Pampers and the formula and the other supplies? Is that donated to you, or is that coming out of your own pockets to help people?
It's from the Women's Fellowship of the Church, of the John Gray Church. We organized ourselves. We began with fundraiser, and then a lot of our members have been very generous donating because it's a program that I get a lot of support from the church with. So it is a mission of the John Gray Church, led by the Women's Fellowship.
That's wonderful.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. And again, to all our listeners, if you're looking to get some baby items that you need, please come out to John Gray Memorial Church in West Bay this Saturday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And God's willing, there will not be any inclement weather to deal with this weekend.
Hopefully not. I mean, I was amazed last Saturday what we had.
Absolutely, me too. Apparently there's another system forming, and I hear another one behind that. So I think we all are on the same page when we say we just want a break.
Yeah, keep the faith. Keep the faith.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you for your call.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, so you heard it there. If you're looking for baby items, John Gray Memorial Church in West Bay, they have limited supply of items. It's not necessarily clothing. It's more formula, maybe some medicines, Pampers, these essential items that you would need for your baby. So 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. this Saturday. They were supposed to be there last Saturday, so if you are some of those parents that are used to going down to John Gray or you want to be registered to receive these items, definitely visit them in 2 days from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. You have a 1 hour window, so you got to make it in and help out these volunteers that are trying to help you out. And with that, we welcome more callers. I was giving the numbers out earlier, 1-800-534-8255. That's for Flow customers. It's a toll-free line for you to call. 949-8037, 949-6990. And if you would like to WhatsApp us, you can do so at 925-3261, and I'll try to get your message on air. So Hurricane well, she wasn't a hurricane when she came by the Cayman Islands, thankfully. It was just a tropical storm. But I'd have to say I have never seen a tropical storm in my 15 years on island really damage Cayman the way it did. And it was a big surprise, I think, for a lot of us. I'm not sure how many people saw the video that Hazard Management had put out. A helicopter that was going mostly over the Georgetown area of the island, and everything just looked underwater. And I was so surprised. I didn't expect it to have that much impact on Cayman. We knew it was pretty much headed right towards us. We're within these major bands of that storm, and I'm so thankful that it didn't even turn into a Cat 1, because I think we hit up to 65 miles per hour, and a Cat 1 starts at 75 miles per hour. So we were very lucky that it didn't even hit a Cat 1 or stay still and gather more strength and do any more damage to us. But we do know Nicaragua got hit pretty bad, as did Honduras, as did Jamaica. I'm not sure what the damage was done to Cuba. I haven't heard so much about Cuba, which is a little surprising. If you all know, please give us a call. Let us know. How did you do during Hurricane Ida? We have another caller online.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, caller. How are you?
And I'm fine, and I hope you're doing fine.
I am, thank you. What would you like to talk about?
First, it's good today we have a beautiful lady hosting the show. So
thank you. I appreciate that. You can't see me unless you're on YouTube, I guess, watching live.
I see you in the camera they put in the studio. So
I'm waving at you right now. So all right. Good afternoon. What would you like to discuss?
Yes. Today we see that as we close election, the launching of a new party, the People Party. I think I have opinion I want to say to the general public about this new party. Its launch close to election. And I think it is normal and natural to have different political parties in Cayman.
Absolutely.
Yes, but what is not natural and not, that this party never show the Caymanian people, the people who gonna go to vote, what is their goals, what is their agenda, what is the purpose of this party being launched so close to election? Is it the change?
Well,
is it the change?
If I can say, I believe this party was just announced because for us in Radio Cayman, you know that we cover elections quite closely. I work in the sales department, so we usually know of which parties, or if there's independents coming out, we'll hear of that right away. And while it hasn't been officially announced to us in our sales department, we've been hearing, you can say on the Marl Road in that sense, that there is a new party called the People's Party. I don't know who's a part of it as yet, and I also don't know what their manifesto is. It's a little early in the game for them to drop their agenda. Because can you give me an example of anybody else that might have declared that they're going to be running, what their agenda is so far?
Yeah, I think if we look at the parties, the two parties in power now, the UDP and the PPM, their agenda is well known to the general public because those two parties from years, I don't see no big changes in their agendas, and their ideas, maybe their ideologies never change. But what I said is this party is too quick to launch. I think if we look at the head of the party, Mr. Miller, with my respect to him, 3 terms in the House, without no achievement for the North Side people, I don't know what we will achieve to the wider general public in Cayman. I think it show that this party is a failure before it starts.
I think that's a very strong opinion, which is fine. But if the people of Northside did not feel that Mr. Miller was effective, then they would not be continuing to re-elect him, because he has had challengers in his district, right?
Yes, I think next time it's going to be hard for him to win. I think it's his last term this term. I think he is trying to get alive his political career by launching a party, but I don't think that will help him anymore. And the other issue I really want to mention here, that we need really to see new young people to run for election. I'm not just speaking about one side of the political landscape in Cayman. I want to see new young people. I see some young people putting themselves out. There is one lady in Savannah. She trying to put herself. I can't remember her name, but I see in Facebook she advertising and she trying to make meetings and talking to people. The last election, we see young man like Kenneth Bryan win election.
Right.
I think Kenneth did a very great job. He is very young man who tried to serve his people very well. And I see Kenneth did a great job. I see him in the community working hard. I see him doing all his best for his community, Georgetown Central. I think he did a great job in terms of bringing motions, in terms of being the sound of the people in the house. So I encourage some young people, this is the reason of my call, some young people to run for election,
I agree. I completely agree with you 100%. Yeah. We need younger representation. Not that the representation we have is archaic and old in their views, but we do need younger representation, and Kenneth has done a fine job with that, and I hope it does encourage the younger people. Don't just go on social media and complain about things. Try to provide a solution, and if you believe in your country and you want to make a change, then run. We have to go to a commercial break right now. I'm a little bit over the time for the commercial break, but I welcome you to call us back and we can continue the conversation. Thank you.
Fidelity Bank would like to thank all essential workers. We salute your efforts and thank you for the sacrifices you've made to keep us all safe. During these challenging times we're facing, our top priority is the health and safety of the communities we serve. And while it's true that things are changing rapidly every day, one thing that will never change is our commitment to giving you the best and sound financial solutions to help you during and after the coronavirus pandemic. At Fidelity Bank, our focus will always be you. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Come out to the South Coast Bar and Grill in Breakers this Friday, November 13th, as we celebrate Lambert Seymour Labby, celebrating his 52nd year in the Cayman music industry. There will be live entertainment by Rexy and the Impulse Band, along with guest artists celebrating Lammy's 52nd year in the music industry. Music starts at 9 p.m. and goes until 2 a.m. Admission is by donation at the door. Dance the night away to soca, calypso, merengue, and country music with live entertainment by Rexy and the Impulse Band at South Coast Bar and Grill this Friday night. For information that matters to you, the people. Hear from the government, the opposition, independents, and other experts on issues and solutions that affect you. For the record. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, tune into 89.9 and 93.9 FM from 7:30 to 9 a.m. for Cayman's new Straight Talk morning show. For the Record.
I invite you to join me for the record. You are invited to be a part of this interesting and informative show. Embrace the opportunity to dialogue with your legislators, policymakers, and those charged with policy implementation.
For the Record.
Brought to you by
Coca-Cola. Available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors.
Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola.
Your Radio Cayman 6 p.m. news, Monday through Friday, is brought to you by Logic. Your life connected.
Talk today. But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waging to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
All right, good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. I'm Kathy Miller, filling in for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. We have a few more callers on the phone. Silver Fox, if you can connect us. Good afternoon, caller.
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
I really don't know.
Oh.
I just had to go, wow. As I listen to people who don't seem to want Cayman needs to move ahead. We must speak in this country. This is the only country we can speak in. The only authority we have in this country. God bless the elders. The young won't survive without their elders. And they'll be too easily led by nefarious forces. Our young leader. We are not to be pushed aside and castigated. Thank you, Mom. Bye-bye.
Thank you for your call. All right, we have a next caller.
In the Anderson building.
Good afternoon, caller. How are you?
Yeah, hello there.
Hello. You're on Talk Today.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. No, I was saying that guy that called in a while ago, when he gets on and starts putting people down and stuff, the guy just cut him off. He wants to, Anyway, what I was going to say was that Cable and Flow,
yes.
Flow telephone company, they got to do something off. Craig has to do something about these people because they don't care about anything but themselves. I went to the Galleria Plaza today, and I waited there for about 10 minutes, and people kept coming in. The poor guy, one guy behind the desk that was servicing all these people, he had to do his job. So people were just piling in, and I finally left and said I'd come back later. I went into town thinking I can go to where the telephone company was up there, but they closed that down. So I go back down there thinking maybe it's not as
Which
bad
location
now.
are you saying?
In the Anderson Square.
Okay, Anderson Square, okay.
Yeah. That one is shut down.
Right, yeah.
So I go all the way back to West Bay, down by Galleria Plaza, and I got in there, and now the line is even bigger, and everybody's waiting. People are coming in and turning around and going back out. What I'm saying is these utility companies, these companies in off-rig, supposed to be regulating them. You got to let them know they're providing a service for people. And it's like the TV station, or the people who supply TV service, they'll cut off, they'll have sometime you got a blackout on a certain station or some different station that you enjoy watching, but you can't get those stations because whatever it is that happens. Now, those companies should at least give the subscriber a break on his prices or something when these things happen. But nothing happens, Alan.
I agree with you. I have the same complaint when it comes to cable here. So
yeah, it's really bad. It's really
frustrating.
Bad. And the off-reg doesn't seem to be doing anything.
So off-reg, we have to look at off-reg for this. Now, with as you were saying, with Flow, and you're not receiving customer service when you're going in a timely manner whatsoever. Is it a matter of not having enough people on the ground to help everybody that's...
They got three desks there that they normally... You would go in, it had find like two girls and the one guy. When I went this day, there was just the one guy.
Okay.
And I asked the I couldn't talk to him because he was busy with the people.
Right.
I talked to the security guard, and he said this has to do with the coronavirus thing.
I'm tired of hearing this. I'm really tired of hearing this about the
you got to have some excuse, but this is getting ridiculous.
It is. I agree with you on that.
Anyway, darling, that's what my brief for today, and I just hope that somebody's listening and they do something about it, because some of the things that, the services we have here, it's all about money, and they get,
Well, I do see more of a trend towards moving away from actual face-to-face customer service, and you'll have to go online, or you'll have to go on your mobile phone, for example.
Yeah.
And my thing with that is we have to look at our society and our population, and for an older generation, for baby boomers, for example, you're not so used to going online and signing up for things or making transfers or, accessing whether it could be your phone provider, your television provider, your bank. You're not so used to always having to go online. You want to talk to people.
That's right.
And I still believe in having that face-to-face communication and customer service. So I understand your frustration with that.
Yeah, and one of the things too, darling, that I want to mention, like a lot of these people that are unemployed now, they tell them to go. Half of these people never use a computer in their life, but they tell them to go online and such and do this and do that.
Right.
We should have a place where people can go to. They can, I don't know what's happening.
Well, yeah, it's technology is making society change in drastic ways, how we do things and how we're used to doing things, and it's almost like forgetting about older generations. So it's only kind of focusing on millennials and Generation Z. So you're not even... A lot of the times I find that there's a disconnect with companies when looking at your whole scope of who your customers are and how do you reach these customers. You can't reach everybody the same way, and you can't service everybody the same way.
Yeah, I think what happens sometimes is that these poor people, they get frustrated and they kind of give up, and they say, well, I'll go to NAU or something and get a little stipend, they have me to. But it's just not right, and it breaks my heart when I see people that I know, the good contractor working in construction business, that are block layers, they're painters, they're different things.
Yes.
And they have now to go online to get a job. Why not have a place? A company should have a place where people can go in directly into their place and say, this is what I do, here's what I've done before. I can give you names of people that have used me before and testify about my abilities and so on.
Right.
But they don't, I don't know, we're trying to be too, I don't know what's the word, but we got to help the poor. The poor, that it bothers me when I see the poor not being, when I think today we got a $6.50 minimum wage, and I said, you go to the grocery store with $6.50, and you have to walk a long ways around that grocery store to find something you can buy for $6.50. So it's sad, and I don't know. We have to do something.
I agree. I couldn't live here on $6.50 an hour, and that minimum wage was, I can't remember what year that new minimum wage was brought in. And again, it's something to be looked at. And we discussed this a little earlier this week about how the minimum wage is not realistic for the cost of living here in the Cayman Islands. And the cost of living just keeps going up. And it's going to. That's how it goes. That's the economy. That's how it's going to go.
Well, you have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
I have to leave, but it's always, good to talk to people.
All right.
They seem to understand a lot of these things. And God bless you. Have a good
God bless you too. Thank you for the call.
Bye-bye.
All right. We're going to take you to another commercial break.
The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. Did you know that between May and August 31st, in support of the COVID-19 Emergency Withdrawal Program, the Chamber Pension Plan leveraged IT and human resources to successfully review over 16,000 member applications, approve over 12,000 applications, and paid over CI $130 million to our plan members. We are the Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan, and we're here for you. For further information regarding the Emergency Withdrawal Program, visit chamberpension.ky. And for information as it happens, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Email admin@pensions.ky or call 745-7630.
Rotary Central Music Extravaganza tickets are moving like a hold glass of swanky on a hot Kimmenbrack day. Get your tickets now from Rotary Central members, Rotary ticket sellers, eventpro.ky, Funky Tanks, A.L. Thompson's Home Depot, Mango Tree Restaurant, Seabird's Bar, Eastern Avenue, Tashara Lewis in Kimmenbrack. Get your golden tickets. Get ready to be a winner. Stand your chance to win $40,000. Second prize $4,000. 6 $1,000 prizes and more. The Music Extravaganza 2020. Building bus shelters throughout the Cayman Islands, supporting over 70 Rotary community projects. Rotary Central, not-for-profit number 232. Rotary opens opportunity.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. I am Kathy Miller, filling in this week and next week for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. We have open mic until 1 p.m., so you can give us a call. The numbers are 1-800-534-8255. That's for Flow customers. It's toll-free for Flow customers. Or you can call 949-8037 or 949-6990. Alternatively, you can WhatsApp a message to 925-3261. That's if you want something to say, but you don't want your voice to be heard and you want us to get it over the air. We have that option for you as well. So we just had a caller who called to express his frustration with businesses, one in particular, but he's also noticed it with other businesses, that there's not a lot of face-to-face customer service, and a lot of the time people are being urged to go online, whether it's to fill out, let's say, a job application or to download forms. And I'd mentioned when you're looking at an older generation, so I'm going to go to baby boomers or Generation X, for example. Yes, you would think that Generation X does have a access more so to computers. They know how to use it. They're more technologically advanced. Baby boomers, perhaps a little bit, not as much so. But the thing is, this is a part of our population and our society. And if we know that technology is changing the way we do everything. We know that many businesses are going into a digital transformation period. But that's not to say that an analog way of life doesn't still exist. So that face-to-face service, the being able for people to come in and pick up forms or pick up a flyer, anything like that, we need to look at our older generation and also be able to cater to them as well, not just the generations that are up and coming. Thoughts to think about. We do have another caller on the phone. Good afternoon, caller. How are you?
Good afternoon to you, Miss Miller. Wonderful to hear you there. And yes, important things that my friend Mr. Ackerman was saying there a while ago was that if you notice and what you agreed with him with this impersonal type of society we've become, where you're speaking to a recorded voice and you're telling people to go online, but at the same time we're encouraging people to meet a Caymanian and talk with a Caymanian in strange anomaly there. And this is it.
Wait, what do you mean? Can you explain that a little bit? What do you mean we're encouraging people to talk to a Caymanian?
What we do when we say we're trying to encourage when tourists come here, in other words,
okay,
and things to talk, we want to encourage Caymanians to be involved and to speak in the way it used to be, where you're right. Greeted with a Caymanian, you're talking to someone,
right?
And that's a personal touch, and that's what we're famous for. And anywhere, even going into the bank or something like that, you'd be speaking. But now we're deaf at the same time. We're trying to tell people, you go online and you get this and get that. But what he's saying, that, you know, a lot of these people are used to going to people and saying, well, you know, this is what I can do and show you what I can, tell you what I can do. I put anything online if I want, get anyone to put it on there for me. But talking to me, you will be speaking to the person and you can assess exactly that person, and anyone with any amount of intelligence can assess a person in an hour or less in an interview. Less.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and that makes a big difference to people, just like you say, with a certain age and all that. And this is one of the problems we find now, that we have two sort of types of society here. We're looking at people who want to be involved and talking personally to people and trying to be involved, showing them things, what they know, or learning things, and then we're saying you can go online and use this website and so forth, and that you have lost the interest of that person immediately, you know. And what that person has to say might be very important. Also, Mr. Miller also served 2 terms before, you know. This is 5 terms he served now when we're talking, you know. So it's ridiculous just to dismiss that man service to his country and so forth.
I know, yes.
You know, let's kind of put that aside and forget.
I was like, whoa, now we've gone on to Mr. Miller all of a sudden.
Thank you very much for taking my call.
Oh, absolutely.
Bye.
Thank you for calling. Thank you for calling. That's interesting. So we've had a couple calls now from people of, I'm going to say baby boomers. I'm not sure of the generation, and, you know, it's rude. I'm not going to ask you your age. Of course, that's rude. But, you know, we can tell they're not that younger, thriving population right now in the workforce, right? That makes up the majority of the workforce. But this is who we've always learned from. So we've learned from our elders. We're going to continue to learn from them. We had a woman who called and said we can't dismiss our elders at all. We need to learn from them. That's how we're going to get by. And I agree. I completely agree. So going back to the point of technology and, you know, having to fill job applications online and whatnot, it's also going to be dependent on your industry. So if this was a tech industry or a very computer-based job, of course you're going to most likely go online and fill out an application. But if you're in construction and perhaps you don't have those skills, but you have great construction skills, you're a great roofer or a painter or a welder, a mason, you need to be able to show your ability not just by going online to fill out an application, but hand in your resume, fill an application in person, drop it off. For me, I've always encouraged people, whenever you're filling out for a job application, do it online. Do a second one. Make sure you go drop it off in person. These people see you. They make that human connection with who you are. You've put that extra effort in. No matter what, I think it's important to have that extra effort and to make that personal touch, because you can get lost in an abyss of a digital world, right? So let us try, for all the businesses and business people out there that are listening, if you know part of your clientele or part of your workforce is of an older generation, I encourage you to take the steps to be able to reach those people with the information that they need, to be able to connect with them in a way that they also understand, because they're very much still a part of society and very much a part of your business, and they're your customers as well. So it's important to be able to know how to connect to all of your customers across the board, no matter what generation they're in. We have a couple of minutes left for our open mic before we go to 1 p.m. headlines, and then after that we'll be joined by Rudy Miles, who will be speaking about the Seaman Celebration Sabbath. After Mr. Miles, we have Alfonso Wright at 1:30 to discuss the deadline for the Heroes Day nomination. 2 p.m. we have Cayman Water and Jasmine, and they'll be speaking to us about the upcoming Peter Ribbons Memorial Ride and Run. The numbers again to call are 1-800-534-8255. That's for Flow customers, toll free. 949-8037, 949-6990. Or you can WhatsApp us a message at 925-3261. I had some questions about Hurricane Ida, and nobody called to discuss Hurricane Ida and how they fared during that. So I tropical storm for us, Tropical Storm Ida. It was a Cat 4 when it hit Nicaragua. It was a depression when it hit Honduras, and I can't remember if it was yesterday or the day before. We were speaking about Honduras relief efforts. We had Speaker of the House, Mr. McKeeva Bush, who was on with some people from his West Bay constituency, and they were speaking about their Honduras relief efforts. So by memory, I can tell you that on Friday, tomorrow, from 3 p.m. till 5 or 6, you can go to A.L. Thompson's and you can drop off supplies for people in Honduras that need it. And this is absolutely everything you can think of. A lot of people, many people, hundreds of people have lost their homes, completely homeless, have nothing but the clothes that they're wearing. We're looking for baby items. We're looking for clothing, tarps, towels, sanitary items, non-perishable food items. And if you are sending a package to a particular family member or friends that are in Honduras, it is asked that you label the package and precisely put who it is for and also who is sending the package. That's one thing to try to ensure that your package is going to go to the right family member or the right recipient. The people collecting the Honduras relief packages will also be at A.L. Thompson's on Saturday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And they'll be at the airport park, the Foster's Airport Park, on Sunday. I think it was 10 a.m. It might be 9 a.m., but I think it was from 10 a.m. till maybe 3-ish. Don't quote me on that. So try to go in there in the morning if you have items, clothing that you no longer need, anything that you can give and pack that's not too heavy, that you can help out our neighbors in Honduras. And with that, we're going to go to the 1 p.m. news headlines.
Follow Radio K-Man on Twitter. All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Follow us at twitter.com/Radio K-Man.
Today's biggest news.
Radio K-Man.
It's only 2 species that we have here on Island.
Generations present.
Your voice, your choice.
It is in the best interest of the people of these islands.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio K-Man's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
Hi, this is Danny Coleman, Director of Hazard Management, Cayman Islands. We're about to enter the height of the hurricane season, and given that we've already seen a significant amount of activity in the Atlantic this year, we're really asking the public to get ready for the next few months. Some tips of getting ready: be informed and know your risks associated with the high winds as well as storm surge. Find out how high your home is above the sea level and the flooding history. If you have any new buildings or roads that have been constructed near you, this could impact levels of flooding that you may not have previously experienced. Determine where you, your family and your pets will shelter in a storm. Know where the public shelters are, and if you have medical needs, be sure to go to a shelter that is a designated emergency medical centre. Make sure your home, car and property insurance, as well as your passports and other important documents, are up to date and that you have copies and photographs in a secure and dry location. If you have a boat, please decide now where and how you will secure it. Check your hurricane shutters, and if you don't have them, consider purchasing plywood. Stock up on hurricane supplies, non-perishable items including prescribed medication and personal sanitation items. And for more information, please visit our website at www.caymanprepared.ky. Be informed, make a plan, be prepared and stay safe, Cayman.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins. The Chief Medical Officer, Dr. John Lee, reports that 184 COVID-19 tests have been carried out since this was last Tuesday, November 10th. All were negative. The total number of people in isolation, either at a government facility or in their homes, as required by the Medical Officer of Health, is 898. In international news, Black people are twice as likely as white people to catch the coronavirus, a study of 18 million people suggests. The research also indicates Asian people are 1.5 times more likely than white people to be infected and may be more likely to need intensive care. A British nurse has appeared in court charged with 8 counts of murder and 10 counts of attempted murder following an investigation into a number of baby deaths at a hospital in Cheshire, northwestern England. Libya's UN-backed Government of National Accord has condemned the killing of prominent Libyan lawyer and women's rights activist Hanan al-Barasi, who was gunned down by armed men Tuesday in the eastern city of Benghazi. Her killing in Benghazi came just a day after she shared comments on social media criticizing the son of renegade military general and Libyan National Army leader Khalifa Haftar. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
Your voice, your choice, your radio.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. I'm Kathy Miller, sitting in for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. We have our first guest for this afternoon in studio with us, Mr. Rudy Miles, and he is here to discuss the Seaman Celebration Sabbath. Good afternoon, Mr. Miles. How are you?
Good afternoon, Kathy. It is wonderful to be here. Thank you for accommodating us to speak about this wonderful event that we're having at our church.
Thanks for joining us. And it's a celebration because it's my first Talk Today on my own, so this is... And you're my first guest on my own, so I will always remember you.
All right. Well, Sterling, you may be ousted. How can we say that?
Sorry, Sterling. He won't be ousted. We need him. He's valuable.
Absolutely.
So tell us what the Seaman Celebration Sabbath is about.
Well, Seaman Celebration Sabbath is something that our church, from last year, September 2019, as part of an initiative to make the membership aware of the contributions that seamen have made to the development of these islands. We wanted to raise that awareness and recognize the seamen, recognize those who are members of our congregation, for example, who are seamen. And we still have about 18 members of our congregation who sail the high seas. Some of them were for short times, others were for decades. And we just wanted to recognize them, let them know that we appreciated their efforts. Unbeknownst to us, we weren't aware that the Heroes Day announcement was going to take place. And certainly for next Heroes Day, the seamen are being recognized, which is wonderful. And I encourage persons, I know based on what I'm understanding, following this afternoon, someone will be coming on to speak about the deadline for that. So we do encourage persons to nominate individuals that have contributed to have contributed to the development of these islands. And I think Mr. Alfonso Wright is coming on to do that. But our celebration is separate and apart from the Heroes Day event. What we found is that a lot of our youth in the church and a lot of non-generational Caymanians were not aware of the significant impact that seamen had on the community. And so we wanted to just...
What do you say to them when they're not aware of that? What stories or insight do you share with them at that point?
My. Well, one example that we gave recently was at one time government actually had to borrow money from that which seamen had been sending home to pay civil servants.
Wow.
So when they start to hear things like that, they're like, really? That important? And, MP, Mr. Arden McLean, he has a saying. I only heard him with it. It was, you see our glory, but you don't know our story. And I think it is a similar situation with persons who have arrived in these islands, say in the last 30 or so years. They were never accustomed to the situation where you would have these gentlemen returning from sea. They're spending a few months here, or sometimes it was days, weeks, and then they would go back off to sea. But it was those allotments that they had that really helped these countries develop in the early years. So we just let them know that the seamen have made significant contributions, and we wanted to truly recognize seamen in our congregation. And like I said, we have about 18 seamen as still members of our congregation. And I wouldn't go into the names at this point, but we certainly want to ensure that either we have nominated them or that they've been nominated for the National Heroes Day function, but also to simply take some time to celebrate with them. We want to have a flag pinning service, which in itself is, we've actually had a ship carved from foam, and for each seaman that arrives, or each person who wants to attend the service, and to pin a flag into the ship itself.
How big is this ship?
It's a little over 3 feet.
Okay. Wow.
So, but the flags are going to be tiny. They're
Yes.
just with the names on it, so that we can actually have space to put it. And I figure we would probably have space for maybe up to 200 flags if we needed to go that far. But it would be wonderful to run out of space, because it would then mean that people are truly recognizing the contributions that seamen have made. So we are hoping that persons will find the time to be able to come out, celebrate with the seamen. Yes, we're talking about the seamen of our church. And I'm sure that, well, I'm not aware of other churches that have actually done this or done it in this manner. I know that there have been some churches that have recognized the seamen, but one of the things that I've asked our church to do is set aside at least one Sabbath throughout the year that we recognize the contributions that the seamen have made. And I think that is important. It says something to the seamen that we value what you have done for the community. Let's also face the fact that Cayman has been a giving community over the years, and many of the churches, from the allotments that were sent home, whether the seamen even knew it or not, I can attest to the fact that from allotments that I'm aware that my grandmother received either from my uncles who were at sea, there was a tithing portion that was done. So churches benefited in that way as well. And so I just think the whole idea of celebrating them and their contributions to us is a phenomenal one. So we are looking forward to that, which takes place on the 28th of this month.
Excellent. I was just going to ask which Sunday is going to be the Seaman Celebration Sabbath. So that is, well, not Sunday, sorry. The Saturday, November 28th we have.
Correct.
Right.
Saturday, November 28th, which is just about 2 weeks away. And we are hoping at that time to have pretty much almost an entire day of recognition. In between our Sabbath school services and our divine service, which normally takes place at 11, is when we're planning to do the pinning service and the recognition. And at that time, what's expected to happen is that the seamen who are there or their representatives will be given an opportunity to have that flag pinned into the ship, and also to have the name mentioned. So I think it would be incredible. We may use
a nice way
children.
to honor them.
Absolutely.
This is just open to? Well, you'd mentioned the 18 members or so of your congregation that are seamen or were seamen.
Yes.
So we're recognizing them. But what about? And is this a particular church?
It is happening at the Georgetown Seventh Adventist Church, which is a church right near the HSA, the Georgetown Hospital. It is not limited in any way to just members of that congregation.
Okay.
Anyone, whether it's a seaman from Little Cayman or Cayman Brac or any of the other districts that wish, or churches that wish to recognize their seamen, it does not have to be a person associated or affiliated with a church. If you have a member of your family who was a seaman, or in many instances, there were also women who accompanied their husbands on various trips, and they are also being recognized in various ways. So anyone who is considered a seafarer can certainly be recognized. So we're hoping, if we're able to get the names in advance, we're hoping to have them printed on flags and be able to have that available when they arrive, and that will be used to pin into the ship itself.
And it'll be a nice visual representation celebrating your seamen.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's planned. And of course, the part of the day's events is to have a fellowship lunch after that. We have a fellowship hall, but we are likely to be using a large tent in order to be COVID-19 compliant. We wish to accommodate as many persons as possible. And instead of it being inside the church hall where we may have limited capacity, especially for being conscious of COVID-19 measures, we're hoping to have a very large tent, and we'll have various controls in place to mitigate any issues related to COVID-19. So we're planning on having a wonderful time celebrating it. People can look across and see there maybe in instances persons that they've not seen for a long time. So we're really looking forward to having a wonderful time.
You mentioned, well, first thing, you mentioned the children's Sabbath service, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, and in the beginning of the conversation, what you told me, what struck you was you found a lot of the youth, the younger people in the church didn't understand the contributions that seamen had made. Mm-hmm. So with the Sabbath service for children, it's a bit of a tongue twister right now for me.
We call it our Sabbath school. It's
the Sabbath school, okay.
Church at study, basically.
Is that's for children? Correct?
It's
or no?
It's for everyone.
For everyone,
really.
okay.
Yeah, we have a children's division, and we also have an adult division. And on that day, we'll probably have them combined. But the opportunity then is for the children to be able to go up to that seaman, take that flag, bring it up. And if the seaman wants to walk up with that child who's bringing the flag, terrific. But we want to announce the name that's on that flag, place that flag into the ship, and to ensure that we have the recognition that recognizing that individual. So,
are the seamen going to be able to share their stories? Because I know they have stories. I love to hear them, and for children especially, they're very entertained by storytelling.
They have incredible stories, and we have a period during that church at study where we are going to have an interview session with some seamen, and they can share their stories. We're hoping even in the afternoon to have a session where we can have another panel of seamen having a discussion about their experiences, so that people will just learn and understand what's happening. So it's looking like a wonderful day, a wonderful time to recognize them and to let them know that we appreciate them. The community on a whole appreciates them. Now, older persons understand the contributions that they've made, but I don't think the younger folks truly understand how much of an impact those seamen have made on the development of the islands, and it's a great opportunity to have them explain some of the challenges that they encountered.
All right, we're going to go to a commercial break, but when we come back from that break, I want to hear a little bit more about those contributions that were made for those that are listening that may not be aware as well.
Terrific.
Would like to thank all essential workers. We salute your efforts and thank you for the sacrifices you've made to keep us all safe. During these challenging times we're facing, our top priority is the health and safety of the communities we serve. And while it's true that things are changing rapidly every day, one thing that will never change is our commitment to giving you the best and sound financial solutions to help you during and after the coronavirus pandemic. At Fidelity Bank, our focus will always be you. Fidelity, we're good for you.
CUC is going virtual. We have the same awesome team ready to provide you with excellent service.
We managed to implement technology right before the lockdown that allowed our reps to work from home and still deliver that exact same level of service.
Our priority will always be to provide our customers with the high quality of service to which you've grown accustomed. Visit our website at www.cuc-cayman.com or reach out to us at service@cuc.ky. We are here to serve you.
Miracle Brokers International, your worldwide movers and freight forwarders, continues to work hard to improve their expertise to provide you with the first-class service you have come to expect. Now, together with Consolidated Freight Line, CFL, the specialist in logistical and global cargo solutions, customers can rely on an expanded team of moving professionals that gets the job done in a timely manner. Whether it's your prized possessions, full container loads, less than container loads, ro-ro cargo, or construction equipment, from door to port services, or across the oceans, from destinations such as the US, Canada, Asia, the Caribbean, Central and South America, among others. Miracle Brokers and CFL Combined Networks offers hundreds of expert connections that take the stress out of moving and shipping services. Call today for your free estimate, 949-5989. You can also log on to www.miraclebrokers.com. Miracle Brokers is located at the end of Kingbird Road, just past CUC. Miracle Brokers, the art of packing and moving, 949-5989.
Come out to the South Coast Bar and Grill and Breakers this Friday, November 13th, as we celebrate Lambert Seymour Labby, celebrating his 52nd year in the Cayman music industry. There will be live entertainment by Rexy and the Impulse Band, along with guest artists celebrating Lammy's 52nd year in the music industry. Music starts at 9 p.m. and goes until 2 a.m. Admission is by donation at the door. Dance the night away to soca, calypso, merengue, and country music with live entertainment by Rexy and the Impulse Band at South Coast Bar and Grill this Friday night.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. We are here with Mr. Rudy Miles, who is speaking to us about the Seaman Celebration Sabbath. It is taking place Saturday, November 28th at the Georgetown Seventh-day Adventist Church. And just joining us in the studio, but kind of hanging out with us because he's going to be talking from 1:30 till 2 about the Heroes Day nominations. We have Mr. Alfonso Wright as well. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. Happy to be here.
We're happy to have you. Thank you. Now, Mr. Miles, you were saying that the contributions that Seamen have made, and before it was you're doing this because you really want to recognize who you do have in your congregation. Yes. You want to let the younger people within the congregation understand as well. Mm-hmm. And hoping to make this a yearly Seaman Celebration Sabbath,
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And so most likely the last Saturday of November is when it would maybe fall. If we're looking annually.
We could, yes.
Now, you have some stories. So you had mentioned that part of your family legacy as well is seamen. So for you growing up, mm-hmm. What did that mean to you? What was your interest in it?
Well, interestingly enough, one of the things that I remember most about my uncles, for example, being at sea or coming home from being at sea, changing ships or whatever, was I had one particular uncle who he had a fascination with chickens, and there were many varieties of chickens that he would be bringing each time that he came, and that's where I started to learn about the different varieties, and seeming that has stayed a part of our family, involved with chickens and poultry for so many years. But at that time, every family really had a coop and had their own chickens or whatever. But I remember that distinctly. My uncle would be coming home, and you knew as a child, okay, we're going to see some new chickens coming in. But
you didn't ever hope for any other exotic animal. He was bringing back chickens.
I just knew it was going to be chickens. But I also know that there were other things that other family members at sea would be bringing. For example, various ornaments, whether it was pottery or cups and things of that nature from way over the seas. I remember plates and different things like that from the Far East and from Africa and different things like that. And ironically, my grandmother would keep those in a cabinet where they were on display, and it was just things that she considered to be prized possessions, really, because it had significant meaning for her.
And likely a story from each place they came from as well. So
absolutely.
As usually is the way things go, you bring a gift and there's generally a story behind that gift and the place where it originated from and whatnot.
Right. And then you'd hear stories about going through the Panama Canal and all of those sorts of things and the number of ships and how big these ships were. And as a youngster, you can't begin to imagine what they're talking about when they say the size of a ship. And it was just incredible to see that our seamen, many of whom had probably not been on vessels bigger than a catboat before, but then they would go out on these ships that are hundreds of feet long, and it was just wonderful to hear those stories. And we're fortunate to have in our congregation some incredible seamen who some of them became top captains. We have persons, and I don't want to start getting into the names of those individuals, but some sailed on incredible vessels, some of the largest vessels in the world. Wow. And so I'm looking forward to them being able to tell their stories during that celebration time. So throughout the day, we're going to have a wonderful time of celebration. So we're
sounds like
forward.
Definitely. I mean, you have your own stories just as a child learning about that from your own family.
Right,
so
right.
Getting it firsthand from the seamen that were out there and the things that they can discuss it'll be really interesting. I'd love to hear it. I'm terrified of going out in the open seas like that. It doesn't matter how giant the ship is.
Okay.
I think I've seen enough movies where I'm like, are the waves really coming up that high? So much respect to seamen, because I think it's really hard physically on you. Mentally, I'm sure it definitely takes a toll as well.
Yeah, I never recognized or never appreciated some of the challenges they had. I was being told recently about a situation where they, if they're on tankers, for example, that was transporting petroleum, you have to clean out down in the very bottom of the tanks. And you can't afford to have a spark occur. So you're scraping that. You can't afford to have a spark occur. So you have to use, if you were fortunate, you would be given a tool that wouldn't create a spark. And I never thought much about that. Yes, someone has to clean it out because you're going to have settlement there. But I've never been fortunate to have gone to sea, but listening to some of their stories, I can now truly appreciate even more so the struggles they went through and the contributions that they have made, how significant those contributions are that we truly need to appreciate at this time.
When you were a kid listening to these stories, did you think, I'm going to grow up and I'm going to go out to sea, just like my uncles did?
I must admit, no, because
maybe they didn't impress you all that much.
No, it was exciting, and it's one of the things that young men looked forward to. But by the time I was getting to that stage, the seafaring days were waning, and I know that eventually we do have some companions still at sea, but I think those days where it seemed to have been the desire and the objective of most young men to go to sea. I think I grew up at the tail end of that, so I wasn't fortunate to go out there. And for me, the fact that you would get seasick and they had to overcome that. That's another challenge that I look at. I mean, right now I get seasick driving along the seaside. So imagine them leaving at age 12, 14, 16, going out there and actually becoming men by the time they got back home. So I mean, we have so much to give thanks to them for, and thank God Almighty for keeping them and for allowing them to make the contributions that they have made. So we're just looking forward to having a wonderful celebration Sabbath with them. And like I said, it's going to be on the Saturday the 28th of this month at the Georgetown Seventh Adventist Church. And we are
It's an all-day affair with many things planned throughout the day.
Many things planned. A wonderful, I didn't even get into the menu, but it's something that they would certainly identify with and look forward to. So
I'm sure if it's plenty of local food, then
absolutely
nobody's worried at all.
Absolutely. Have coconut dinners and all that sort of stuff. All
Lovely,
of those planned.
That's nice.
Yes.
So excellent. And this also ties in with Heroes Day because they're celebrating seamen.
Absolutely. And we, although this is not a part of the Heroes Day planning or event, this is something that came up, like I said, September of last year, and it was because of the need to raise the awareness of our members to the contributions that seamen have made, and not take it for granted that everything here is something that happened just by accident. It wasn't by accident. It was by a lot of sacrifice, a lot of hard work that our seamen put into it. And yes, there were others who made contributions, but I certainly think that the seamen themselves have been underappreciated over the years.
How else do you think we can appreciate them?
Oh, well, I'm going to leave that for the committee that is planning all of this. But I think certainly, our church is taking initiative to set aside, hopefully, at least one day out of the year where we recognize them. And I think if our churches actively engaged in that, and also the schools try to identify with or have the seamen come in and explain what they did. Initially, it could be a challenge because most of the kids are not going to understand initially, especially the younger ones. What do you mean a seaman? And I've listened to some of the stories of them now going to the various schools and trying to bring that message across. But I think we can do so by ensuring that it is embedded in our cultural education campaigns. The churches can play an active role in doing so. I think the Seamen's Association is just incredible. I had for the first time to be able to sit in a meeting about 3 weeks ago there, and some of the things that you learn, it's just incredible.
They're quite active.
Absolutely.
Great.
And I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, excellent. So again, the Seaman Celebration Sabbath, it will be Saturday, November 28th at the Georgetown Seventh-day Adventist Church. And as Mr. Miles was explaining, they will be honoring around 18 members of their congregation that were seamen. And they have a whole day of activities planned, the services that are honoring the seamen, stories being told, and a luncheon. You do not have to be a member of the church to join. You can go and learn about this on your own and enjoy a great day of fellowship, meet new people, learn about Cayman, learn the history, know where you're living.
Yes.
And know where you're from. Absolutely.
Indeed.
So thank you very much for joining us.
I want to thank you
Mr.
and
Miles.
thank Radio Command for this opportunity, and we look forward to seeing persons present on that day and to celebrate their family members who were seamen and just come out and honor them and enjoy a wonderful day.
Absolutely.
Thank you once again.
Thank you. All right, we're going to go to our next commercial break, and after that we will be joined by Mr. Alfonso Wright, and we'll be speaking about Heroes Day nominations.
Digital is not a buzzword, it is a culture. At Digicel, we've made it our mission to enrich your digital lives. That's why we're bringing together more of all the experiences you love. The latest shows, the best of local and international music and radio, live sports, cloud storage, breaking news, HD video chats, and more. Welcome to Digital at Digicel. the Caribbean's fastest mobile network, Digicel. Better together.
Maintaining a strong mind and body through sports and general healthy living is a good course of action. But what about your spiritual man, your inner man? He has to be awakened, fed, exercised, strengthened, and led according to the will of God. So, have you heard the call? I'm evangelist Brother Joseph Joey Ebanks, and I'm inviting you to worship Wednesday and Thursday nights at 7:30. We are bringing the Word of God to our communities as Jesus commanded. Faith comes by hearing, so come and hear. Bring your own chair or simply park and listen to the Word of God from your vehicle, covering the Cayman Islands with the Word of God, one community at a time.
Have You Heard the Call will be meeting November 11th and 12th at the Windsor Park Playground.
As the community continues to take precautions from COVID-19, it is important to stay prepared for other disasters now that we're in the hurricane season. Here are some post-hurricane safety tips from the Department of Environmental Health. Some tinned food items may still be safe for consumption after contact with flood water. However, tins must then be immersed in a solution made of 2 tablespoons of chlorine bleach per gallon of water for 10 minutes. Ensure that containers are air-dried before opening. For full guidance on post-hurricane safety tips, visit www.deh.gov.ky.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. I'm Kathy Miller, filling in for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks for today, tomorrow, and next week as well. And we are sitting with Mr. Alfonso Wright, who is here to discuss with us about Heroes Day and the upcoming deadline for nominations. Mr. Wright, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing good, and thanks so much, Kathy, for having me on. I must say it's a pleasure to see a good-looking face in here for once.
Wow! Dwayne, I hope you're not listening because, you know, he might not come back after that one. But thank you very much, I'd have to say.
We could
appreciate hearing that. No, he'll be all right with it. I think somebody said that to him earlier in the week, and he takes
it in stride.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. He does, absolutely.
Yeah, so National Heroes Day nominations, we know we're getting ready to celebrate the year of the seafarer, celebrating our seafaring heritage. And the original deadline for nominations was October 31st, and it's been so overwhelming. And for a couple of good reasons, we decided to extend the deadline by 2 weeks. So November 14th, which is this Saturday.
Oh, that's right up, yeah.
Yeah, is the deadline. Nominations have been coming in rapidly. There's been a lot of work ongoing. We have the nomination committee that's working. They're processing applications, nominations already, so that we don't have a whole pile to deal with at the end of a nomination period. So as they come in, we're vetting and doing what we need to do with them.
This year's theme for Heroes Day?
It is celebrating our seafaring heritage.
Okay.
Right, is what the theme is for this year's National Heroes Day. Well, next year's National Heroes Day.
Yes. Well, it's true, yes.
January 25th. Yes. So much so that the committee is meeting twice a week, and they're meeting for around 5 hours each one of those meetings.
Wow.
Yeah, it's quite a bit of work.
Is that outside of your normal working hours?
No, that's during working hours. Well,
that is a lot of work still.
It's the entire committee, which comprises members of the Seafarers Association.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, they're meeting right now. Today, there's a meeting going on from 10 until about 3 this afternoon.
Okay.
So it's a lot of work that's been going on, but we're still encouraging people. We're still getting calls, people asking questions, and although
what are they asking? Like, what's the criteria for them to nominate, and what are they? What do you?
I'll get to that if you I'll go through the.
I'm jumping ahead.
That's all right. We work together here. Saturday being the deadline, people are still asking questions about qualifications, about what category their loved one or the person they're nominating we think they should go in, or or simply, is it still open? You know, is
Right.
the deadline still open? And there are some, you know, if I could, this won't take us too long. If I can just read a
Absolutely, go
couple of excerpts here. This speaks to our seafaring is an integral part of the Cayman Islands' history, identity, society, economy, and development. For decades, thousands of Caymanians depended on the sea for their livelihood. Through their heroic efforts in boat building, shipbuilding, shipping administration, turtling, and seafaring, these hardy and intrepid Caymanians built the foundation for our islands. We recognize the women who stayed home to hold the fort and raise the families while their loved ones were far away. Through challenging times and shifting tides, they all lifted an entire nation towards a better way of life. The Cayman Islands is indeed founded upon the seas, and our motto reminds us of our heritage and our identity. From building sailing vessels at home to fishing out on the high seas hundreds of miles away, from piloting catboats while turtle ranging to sailing the world on merchant ships of all sizes and classes, our seafaring people became renowned worldwide for their skills with attributes of resilience, perseverance, and aptitude for hard work, independence, and a spirit of entrepreneurship that made us who we are today. So, 2021 National Heroes Day recognizes the outstanding contributions made by our seafarers. It highlights the inspiring stories of our seafaring heritage and celebrates the industry that is firmly embedded in the history and culture of our Cayman Islands. There are categories for nominations. I'll read them now. Early pioneer is an individual, alive or deceased, who made an exceptional contribution prior to the 1940s in the area of shipbuilding, boat building, shipping administration, turtling, or seafaring. Pioneer, an individual, alive or deceased, who made an exceptional contribution from the 1940s through to the 1980s in the areas of shipbuilding, boat building, shipping administration, turtling, and seafaring. Those who excelled at sea, an individual, alive or deceased, who during their seafaring career advanced in rank to the highest level of their profession or performed a lifetime of at least 40 years of service, regardless of their final rank. So you will have some men who would have gone on to become captains or chief engineers and so on. But there was also the seafarer who may not have gone that far, may not have advanced that far, but still stuck it out for decades out there, you know, on the high seas. Women and seafaring is another category. A woman, alive or deceased, who bravely went to sea or made exceptional contributions to the island seafaring heritage. And the story of women is all around us, you know, whether they were on board ship or whether they were home managing the household and the children
and the country, from what I understand.
And the country, exactly.
They really ran the country during
and they also
these years.
became, I don't want to say contractors, but they were also responsible for making sure the homes were being built while the husband was away, sending home money. You know, so very enterprising set of women we have here in the Cayman Islands.
We do have one caller who's been waiting, I think, right before you gave the expert there. So if we can take that caller. Good afternoon, caller.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for waiting. How are you doing today?
Fonzo, I'm doing all right, ma'am. Fonzo. I'm not talking. I'm not even saying nothing, Fonzo. I didn't want to stop in midstream because this is 203, Fonzo. But them pretty words, them is sweet words. Look, and I went to no college. But here where you say build the foundation and I quoted that, they tell me that's relevant.
It's a good thing you didn't go to college, darling, because I don't know what we would do.
The government is, and I remember this now for several weeks ago, the government is 100% behind this effort. That's quoted to Kadisha, that's what I should do.
That's correct.
You look at Fonzo.
Yeah.
I want to hear the announcement before and I get to the 21st of January. God willing, I might live to see it. We want to leave our people with something tangible, and I'm just beating up on you because you're the one out there talking about it.
I know, darling, but let me say this to you. The nature of...
So don't let no cat out the bag.
No, I'm not going to let no cat out the bag.
Okay.
But the nature of this is that National Heroes Day is the day, and whatever happens, whatever announcements are to be made, it's left. That's reserved for the premier, who will make the announcements on that day. I can only say to you that we are listening, that we have your suggestions, we have others as well, and there are a lot of things that I know that people are going to be very happy to hear on National Heroes Day. Your particular address is something I can't speak no further to, except the fact that it's under consideration.
But look at Alfonso. The other thing is, and I know this is Mr. Premier's part because this is legislation, a category for them that when we speak of that era, everybody will know that is set aside by what? Legislation in the way the House of Parliament.
All right.
Okay, that's all I'm saying. And I really not talking for them, but you know, and I can make you get way.
I know that.
So I'm gonna give it to me, please.
Yes,
give
love.
them something tangible. It's only a few of them left.
Okay.
You know how they can go on when they get on the other side? Boy, John, we made it, you know? I'm going, baby. You know, I'm loving you. Mr.
Love you
Premier,
too.
Please.
All right.
Please.
Okay, Charlene.
Thank you for the call.
Yeah, Charlene won't allow me to forget her wishes.
Well, you can't go far. You're getting stalked, apparently. It's all good.
The next category is the memorial scroll, which is for deceased persons who made the ultimate sacrifice and lost their lives as a result of going to sea or serving as a seafarer. You know, there are many stories. Thousands went, and there were a few who didn't come back. One reason or other, some of them lost their lives on ship during work. Some would have had accidents going to work or from work, you know. But if they lost their lives going to sea or coming back from sea, we still consider that as you know, in the category of ultimate sacrifice.
Right.
Friends of Seafarers, an individual, alive or deceased, or an organization, a company that was instrumental in facilitating and supporting Cayman seafarers or providing assistance to Caymanians while they were at sea, will also be recognized, because we couldn't have done this by ourselves. There were many organizations throughout the world who made an effort to assist Caymanian seamen because we were so well sought after. And a lot of these gentlemen who left there to go to sea, it was their first time getting on a plane going in a foreign country. And you had to have people who met them at certain destinations and help them on along the way to get to their final destination.
Right.
There were boarding houses and stuff that they had to overnight or stay a couple of days going back or forth. That was also very important. There were also shipping agencies who may not have been directly involved with the shipping agencies here on Cayman, but also knew about the Caymanian seamen, and if they could make their way to Jamaica or Tampa or Mobile or somewhere like that, they could still get shipped out to with various shipping companies. So all these individuals who assisted us in one way or another. We're also trying to have people send in nominations forms for these people who we may not have heard of, but you would know about it by history, to let us know who they are as well.
Okay, excellent. I have a question that I want to get to that we might have to do after the break. Do we have a caller online? We do have a caller online. Let's take that caller before the break.
Yes, Mr. Panzo, good afternoon to you and good afternoon to your host there.
Good afternoon. This has to be a West Bay. One of us just call me Fanso.
You hear how special we are? It's not everybody can call that like that, you know.
Yeah, I think I recognize the voice too, but go ahead.
Okay, I guess they say to me Charlene is peas in a theme pot. So
okay.
Just I'm a little bit younger than her, so maybe I watered from her plant then.
Okay.
I think what Miss Charlene is trying to, and I surely agree with her, what I think she's trying to say, that yes, we have National Heroes Day,
yes,
and that we know that was designed for that occasion. But she's saying that the seamen should have a day for themselves, because National Heroes Day doesn't just when we do that occasion, we doesn't do just for the seamen. We do 1 year, we do one specific thing, the next year we do the other. So she would say that we should have a designated holiday And if we want to do it around November, if we want to do it around November, that's fine. But we want to set another day to celebrate the seamen, because, like she said, you know, they made all kind of commitments. They did their sacrifices. They were number one in the national book, and we had at a very young age to make him and what we are now. So the least that we could give to them is to honor them with their day. May their soul rest in peace for those gone long, and for those that are alive, to see that we recognize them, because it's not good we recognize them after they did gone. So I think that's what she wants. She wants a day just for them. Yes, we understand what National Heroes Day is for, but because we don't make it a National Heroes Day every year for the seamen, she thinks that they should have their day.
Okay, well, thank you for believing that you needed to further explain what Charlene meant. But she made it very clear to us on more than one occasion exactly what she meant. That's why she didn't go back into it today. But yes, I do understand exactly what you're saying, what she's saying. And I still say that there are lots of things that are happening that you are not aware of that are going to be in honor of our seamen and their legacy. Because you're not aware of that, you are thinking that a holiday is probably the best way to honor them. But I can assure you that other things are happening that you will be very proud of as well, in honor of our seamen.
You're telling me we must wait and see then.
That's kind of how it is. As good a suggestion as you can come with is probably something that we've thought of, but we do appreciate them, continue to come in. So we love it when people, express their enthusiasm about our seafarers. It's been a long time since we should have done this for them. And we have to remember also that the entire year 2021 is the year of the seafarer. And there are going to be events that are going to be happening throughout the year, throughout all of the districts. So there's lots of things that are going to be happening on their behalf. I promise you.
That's excellent.
You won't be disappointed.
Thank you. Thank you, caller, for your contribution as well. And we're going to have to take a quick commercial break, and we'll come back to Mr. Alfonso right after that and discuss the rest of Heroes Day.
Fidelity Bank would like to thank all essential workers. We salute your efforts and thank you for the sacrifices you've made to keep us all safe. During these challenging times we're facing, our top priority is the health and safety of the communities we serve. And while it's true that things are changing rapidly every day, one thing that will never change is our commitment to giving you the best and sound financial solutions to help you during and after the coronavirus pandemic. At Fidelity Bank, our focus will always be you. Fidelity, we're good for you.
JN Money Card. But when my land up a JN, me get the money card with them. Just show them your ID and give them your TRN. Go and use at the ATM or swipe instead then. And when you need more cash, and make your family send it in a flash. From abroad to card, get the JN Money Card. It's safe, convenient, and free. JN Money Card only available and used in Jamaica. Call 345-945-2014 for details.
Come out to the South Coast Bar and Grill and Breakers this Friday, November 13th, as we celebrate Lambert Seymour Labby, celebrating his 52nd year in the Cayman music industry. There will be live entertainment by Rexy and the Impulse Band, along with guest artists celebrating Lammy's 52nd year in the music industry. Music starts at 9 p.m. and goes until 2 a.m. Admission is by donation at the door. Dance the night away to soca, calypso, merengue, and country music with live entertainment by Rexy and the Impulse Band at South Coast Bar and Grill this Friday night.
What a great spot for lunch. I haven't been here in ages.
I saw it on Experience Cayman.
What's that?
It's a free online festival showcasing all the great things to do in Cayman.
Oh, that's so cool. I'll check it out for sure. Now, what are we having for lunch?
Experience Cayman is a celebration of everything local to rediscover all the best things to see and do in the Cayman Islands. Visit gov.ky/Experience Cayman and follow Experience Cayman on Facebook and Instagram. Brought to you by the Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. I'm Kathy Miller, filling in for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks on Talk Today this afternoon. We are here with Mr. Alfonso Wright. We're discussing Heroes Day and the nomination deadline for Heroes Day, which has been extended to this Saturday, November 14th. And the theme, I wrote it down, I hope it's right, celebrating our national seafarers, or close to that.
Celebrating our seafaring heritage.
Oh, okay. I'll write that down properly this time. Thank you, Mr. Wright, for correcting me. Now, you had said before the break that a lot of people were seeking out Caymanian seafarers. What made Caymanians so attractive?
Well, our seafaring heritage goes back a long way, from the days of what we refer to as the Mosquito Keys, and the shark fishing, turtling, and so on. Back in the days, that kind of honed the Caymanians seamen, where nothing was easy. There was very little to do on land here. The ground was not very fertile, and being a small place, there were no industries, and people had a hard time making ends meet. Finding simple things as finding food to eat. So they had to apply themselves in whatever opportunities came their way. But I believe that the legacy of going to sea, of turtling and fishing, made them understand and appreciate and respect the sea and the things that it had to offer, but also to understand that it could also be a very dangerous place. When these opportunities started coming, people knew of the Cayman seafarer, of their heartiness, of their ambition and their dependability, and how well they applied themselves to whatever opportunities came their way. So they were highly recommended when the shipping industry began to open up. And they simply took advantage of that opportunity and proved themselves, so much so that after the first set of them started going out there, they kept making references for others to come along there. There's work here. And they applied themselves, and they not only worked, but they also decided to start going to school, to start studying, to walk around a ship and decide that I don't want to be a pump man or an oiler the rest of my life. There are other opportunities on here. And the way that it worked back then with these huge shipping companies, you just applied. You just went into whatever area you thought you liked. And if you applied yourself, promotions were available. They just took that in stride. It didn't matter your educational background if you could do the work. Yes, of course, if there were things that required you to be able to read, then you'd have to do that. But a lot of them even did that after they start going to sea. So Cayman became the place that we were most sought after for able-bodied seamen. And as industrious as we were, we took that challenge on board and became some of the most sought after seamen throughout the world.
Oh, excellent. Thank you for describing that. And I'd have to say, even now, it's still... You still have Caymanians that are very hardworking and industrious and looking for those opportunities and deserving of it as well. So going from back then and seeing that and seeing what your family did, that mindset has been carried on through generations, despite what some rhetoric might say. From what I see, hardworking nation for sure. Hardworking people.
Yeah, and opportunities are still there, but
yes.
But remember, we had nothing. We had absolutely nothing to work with. But as our industrious nature taught us that whatever opportunity came your way, you made the best out of it. You got a coconut, use it for 5, 6 different things. You know, you just didn't pick a coconut, cut it open, drink the water, and throw it away. There were things to do with the hucks, with the shell, with the branches from the coconut tree. You made use of everything that became available to you.
That's a great analogy. We only have a few minutes left, and I know that we still have to cover some points with the nominations.
We want people the nomination forms are available at the Government Administration Building or at the Seafarers Hall or at District Administration in Cayman Brac. If you want to fill out a manual form, you can pick it up there or let us know. We can have it emailed to you. You can also go to celebratecayman.ky, and the form is right there. You can fill it in and have it. You can send it through from there, or right on the website, or you can also send it through to nhd@gov.ky. You can have the form submitted right online from celebratecayman.ky. Or if you want to fill it out manually, you can then drop it off at the Seafarers Hall before 5 o'clock on Saturday, Saturday evening. Or if you can also submit up to midnight or 11:59 on Saturday night through celebratecayman.ky. If anybody needs help, a lot of people been calling the Seafarers, or even I guess it's best to call through to the Seafarers phone for assistance. They have a system set up there that people can come in there for assistance if they need help in filling out the forms. Seafarers have been wonderful. They have done a fantastic job. They've come on board with this whole thing. They're owning it, and they're making their presence felt.
Excellent. So you're working very much in tandem with them to make this
they're on board.
A celebration that they would.
The Seafarers Association are doing a fantastic job. But what I also want to say is that there are still a lot of seafarers who are not members of the Seafarers Association. So we need people to understand that. I also want people to understand that it is not the responsibility of the Seafarers Association to put names forward. That is not their role. They can't do that. They're not doing that. So don't believe that because you are a member of the Seafarers Association that your name will be automatically submitted. I also want to say that the categories that I called out earlier are the names that the people that we're going to make an attempt to honor on National Heroes Day. That there will be those seafarers who we still want you to nominate who may not fit into any of those 6 categories that I called, but your contribution is nevertheless important to us, and we want to recognize that as well. So there are things that we will deal with when we go to the district events during the year. Those individuals who will not make that list for National Heroes Day will still be honored and recognized at our district events. I'd like to say that while a seafarer might only have gone for 3 or 4 or 5 years and they don't think that a major contribution, we see it as a collective contribution from all of the seafarers who made a difference. One seafarer would not have made a difference, but together, we have to acknowledge the collective strength in all the seafarers and all of the allotments coming back home. I also like to say that we had a small government savings bank here before, but when the seafarers allotment started coming home, Barclays saw the need to come in and set up in the Cayman Islands. And say it in how you want, I say that's the beginning of the banking industry. What does the banking industry mean for Cayman today?
Oh,
you tell me. So, we have to acknowledge from whence we came, who started this, who got the ball rolling.
Nobody's ever connected those dots for me before, so that was a great point.
Exactly.
Yeah, great
and there
point.
are other things. There are lots of other things that we connect that way that all started with our beloved seafarers.
Okay, excellent. Now, for all the people that are sending in nominations, again, you have until this Saturday, November 14th to do so.
This Saturday, November 14th, 5 o'clock, you get the form to us one way or the other, or you can still submit online up until just before midnight. Celebratecayman.ky, nhd@gov.ky, or you can find forms at the Government Administration Building. Let me know. I'll email your form if you can't get it any other way. Also, forms are at the Government Administration Building, the Seafarers Association Building in Red Bay, and District Administration in Cayman Brac.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. We look forward to a great Heroes Day. I think everybody's on board when I say we're looking forward to 2021, period, after all the things we've had to endure so far in 2020 so far. And that is one of the biggest events that kicks off the year for us. And then the Seafarers, as you said, will be celebrated throughout all of 2021.
The year. And you know, you need to trust me here. Lots of good things are going to be happening. You know, there are other things that we're battling with, because right now there's a 500 person limit on gatherings, and I don't know if that will change for next year. So we're working on figuring out how we're going to have all this done, because usually the National Heroes Day celebrations will bring out between 1,500 and 2,000 people.
Well, hopefully it'll work out.
There's lots of work to do to be done.
It's not really being policed, in my opinion, but, you know, not that I go to many events.
Yeah, well,
but I'll go with that.
Yeah, well, government can't seem to break their own rules.
Well, you know, that's okay. So that's true. Norma tells me this all the time.
we have to make sure that we're within.
That's true.
Within the guidelines.
That's true.
Because it's
we set them. We gotta respect them.
Are also elderly citizens, and
yes,
and we wouldn't want to expose them,
right?
Because we're expecting them to all be out there that day.
Right. Well, we got to go to commercial break, and with that, thank you again for joining us this afternoon, and remember to submit your nominations for National Heroes Day by this Saturday, November 14th.
From district to district, moving through the waters to Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Your station, your voice. All things Cayman. One radio, many people. This is home.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
It's only 2 species that we have, on the island.
Generations present.
Your voice, your choice.
It is in the best interest of the people of these islands.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins. Cayman Islands National Weather Service reports a tropical wave located over the central Caribbean Sea continues to produce a large area of showers and thunderstorms. Satellite imagery indicates that the disturbance is gradually becoming better organized, and a tropical depression will likely form within the next couple of days as it moves slowly westward over the central and western Caribbean Sea. Any impacts on the Cayman Islands will be highly dependent on development of the system. It's too early to speculate on specific local weather impacts, and with this in mind, residents are encouraged to monitor the progress of this system. In international news, 8 members of a peacekeeping force in Egypt's Sinai Peninsula have been killed in a helicopter crash. The multinational force and observers said 9 people were on board the aircraft when it came down during a routine mission near Sharm el-Sheikh. A Belgian anesthetist has been jailed for 3 years after a British woman died following a botched emergency cesarean. Helga Wouters was also banned from practicing following a court hearing in France on Thursday. Wouters pushed a breathing tube into the British woman's esophagus instead of her windpipe. She was under the influence of alcohol during the procedure. A star reporter has been fired by the New Yorker magazine after he exposed himself on a staff Zoom call. Jeffrey Toobin, who is also senior legal analyst for CNN, after he was suspended last month, Mr. Toobin said he had believed himself to be off camera during the incident. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
your voice, your choice, your radio.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. I'm Kathy Miller, filling in for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. In our last half hour here, it's been a great afternoon so far, but our last half hour I'm joined with representatives from Cayman Water. We have Miss Carleen Singh and Mr. Manuel Thomas, as well as Felicia McLean from Jasmine. Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. How are y'all doing?
Afternoon. Thanks for having us.
That's great to have you. Thank you. And We personally, Radio Cayman, we have a pretty good relationship with Cayman Water. You guys have supported our events that we've done in the past, and now we're here to help support your event as you're having with the 8th annual Peter Ribbons Memorial Ride and Run, upcoming Sunday, the 22nd of November. So people have about 10 more days.
Yes,
to get ready for this. All right, can you give me some background on the run here?
Yeah, I mean, so this is something that we've been doing for the last 7 years. So this is the 8th bike ride walk. It's something that we've been partnering with Jasmine. So it's a good way to support this fantastic cause and this organization. It started with the Auspice. Now it's Jasmine. Yeah, but still a lot of people know it as the Auspice.
Right.
But they've changed the name and. So this is a very, very important event for us because it's also in memory of one of our ex-general managers, Mr. Pete Ribbons, which he was really a sportsman. He was very much on sport, and he spent his maybe last time of his life in the Auspice. So he really knows what this is all about, and so we've been doing this to make it as a fun event for the family. You should be coming over with all your family. You can even bring your pets. Just have a morning fun in this Sunday. And knowing that while you're doing it, you are taking care of your own health, but mainly you are supporting Jasmine. And the proceeds will be all be sent to Jasmine, and Cayman Water will match whatever it is, 100%.
Oh, wow, that's great.
So that's a good way to really to invest in your own health, but supporting this very important organization that we have on this island that's doing a fantastic job for the people in need. I mean, really people that need this type of care.
And from the notes that I have, since 2013, Cayman Water has donated a total of $37,790 to Jasmine. Yes,
and with this year, we expect to be over 40.
Yeah,
40 for sure. I mean, if everybody really participates, we don't have the restrictions of gatherings. We just have the 500. When we start planning this, we didn't know if this was going to be possible to do.
Mm-hmm. Right, because we didn't have our event due to COVID, so we stopped our pre-planning with the Breeze Fusion 5K and 10K walk run. So, and that's what Cayman Water has supported us with in the past as well. So it was a decision sometime in the summer. No, we're not going to have it, but looking. Okay, who is going to do things? Because we didn't know what to expect with COVID at all. And
we are so happy. I mean, we didn't change our dates. Normally we do it this on November. So we just were very lucky that by now the country is in this position where we can do this type of events. So we really hope that everybody, joins, sign up. They just need to go to our website. They can sign up directly there. I'm pretty sure there are other ways to do it. And just have a fun walk, a fun ride. And knowing that you are contributing to this fantastic organization, which is Jasmine. Mm-hmm. That's what we are asking people on this island to do.
What are the different categories you can enter in for this ride and run?
So we have something for everybody. So there's a 40 km ride, which traverses our West Bay district as well as down the 7 mile strip. So that's a 40K bicycle ride. Then there's a 10K ride, which is just up from we start at the plant, the Abel Castillo Waterworks plant, go up to Yacht Club, make a small loop and then back down. And in 2015, I believe it was, we added a 5K walk run so that we can involve more of the community, and as Manuel said, make it, that families can come out and bring their pets and that sort of thing. So that's, again, just from the plant, 5K up to Yacht Club, roundabout and back down. So there's something for everybody.
So it started out as more of a ride, so a bike ride, like a bike ride, not a ride-a-thon, but it was mostly just riding your bike.
Yeah. It was.
That's kind of cool at the same time.
Yeah, at the time, John Tonner, he was our chief operating officer. Now he's our chief commercial officer. He's an avid cyclist, and he knew Pete when he used to work with us back in the 80s, and he was actually the one who came up with the idea for when Consolidated Water celebrated our 40th anniversary as a company. And so he came up with the idea of 40 Ks for 40 years. And so that's where the idea was born. And it was for cycling. But, you know, we've added since then.
Well, it allows you to, many more people can participate, right?
Yes, exactly.
I don't have a bike. I wish I did have a bike here sometimes, but I'd be pretty wild on the road, which is why I don't have a bike. But I like the idea that it's not, at least when it started, that it wasn't just a walk or a run. But now that you have expanded it, that you can do that, because like I said, not everybody has a bicycle.
Right.
And but for those who do, it's a great way to get out there in the morning, get your exercise in, and enjoy the day. Great gathering. So the 40 km riders will start from 6:30 a.m. We have the 10 km riders that will start from 7:30 a.m. and the runners and walkers from 7:30 a.m. And this takes place Sunday, the 22nd of November. There's different tiers of payment as well, depending what you'll be entering into, right? So for children that are 14 and under, or under 14, it's $10, which is a great entry fee for them. You have the walkers and runners, it's a $15 entry fee. And for the 10K bike riders, it's a $15 entry fee as well. And for 40K, it's $20. So it's quite affordable to do. I've seen some events go up to $25, $30 for these charity events. And while it's great because it is going to charity, sometimes when you have, I want to say every weekend there's a walk or a run or an event like that, right? So it can be, for people who are really trying to make it to as much as they can, it can be a little costly, especially when you're bringing your family. So I think the price point is pretty fair as well.
Yeah, we do try to keep it, and we've maintained it through all the years. We've maintained that price point, and with our match, that I think that really helps. In the end.
And it's 100%, so there's no administrative costs, no nothing.
Right.
Even the giveaways are or either offered or donated, or we just buy them from the businesses, which, by the way, it's what we're doing this year.
Okay.
Due to we know that some of these companies are having financial hardships with this COVID. So we didn't feel like we should go there and ask for giveaways.
Right.
So we are buying these giveaways, and then we will be giving them to, I think it's going to be a raffle. And
that's very kind.
It's a way to also to support the local businesses.
Right.
And to thank them for all of their years, many years, of generously supporting us as well.
So. Right. Lisa, for you to, your position with Jasmine, because I know you're here a lot with Radio Cayman and speaking on the different programs that you guys are doing and what's going on there. But what's your main role?
I'm the Director of Operations and Nursing.
Okay. So
I do it all.
You're the one we want to call and talk to.
Well, not necessarily there. Thankfully, I have an amazing team. So there are many people that they can call and talk to, and every single one of our staff members are, as our community would call them, angels. That's just what they call them. It's not me, and we don't claim to be angels, but that's what we're called. And you will get a friendly smile, a warm, friendly voice if you call in or if you show up. We're always welcoming, and so I'm really blessed that anyone can help. But yeah, I do oversee all of the operations and all of the nursing at Jasmine currently, and so. And I've been there now, I think this is 15 years now this year with Jasmine.
Okay.
And so grown from baby to here with them, and it's an honor to have partnered with Cayman Water for so many years. I mean, I personally had the privilege of taking care of Pete Ribbons as well, and so it warms our heart when we can pay it forward then in the sense of doing the care with it being free, because it was still free to everyone, and then have his company recognize the impact that we made on their family, so much so that they would be willing to come aboard and do this sponsorship with us every year for the last now 8 years.
How important it is for Jasmine to have events like this, fundraising events, other, whether it's the public and private sector coming together to be able to raise funds to help you guys operate. How much do you rely on that?
Pretty much 90%. So to make it as clear as possible, government is great, but it is taxed with a lot of things that it has to give its money to. So for Jasmine, we get enough funds that would allow us to run for a month and a half out of the year. So the rest of that comes from the community support. So it is heavily supported by the community, and that's how we're able to do what we do. So we continually look for organizations like Consolidated Water that will partner with us, and even better when they do these events, and it means that we can then take our energies and do other events versus, you know, because there's only so many of us there. It's not, we don't have this huge team. We're not a big corporate firm in that sense. We're a small 9-person team that includes our nurses, our admin, our fundraising, everyone in that hub, trying to pull all these things together to make the funds that we need to provide the services for free and provide the services at the same time. And so we wouldn't survive without the community support.
Okay. Well, this is why we all need to be connected together and help each other as much as we can. We have to go to a quick commercial break, but after that we'll come back. We'll talk a little bit more about the event and what some of those services are that Jasmine does offer to the community.
Introducing the new Digicel Prime bundles, better than anything we've offered before, with more data than ever, more music on the music, more live sports on Sportsmax, more movies on Playgo, more video chats on BIP. With the new Digicel Prime bundles, it's never been easier to get more digital experiences, plus extra data. Get 50 gigabytes with a 7-day bundle. So much data, so much fun. Buy in My Digicel app today, the Caribbean's fastest mobile network. Digicel, better together.
King Sports Center takes pride in being more than just an ordinary gymnasium. For 14 years, their multi-purpose facility has been providing the community with a variety of sporting, recreational, and relaxation activities. King Sports Center has a bowling alley, lounge bar, multi-purpose rooms, powerhouse gym, rock climbing wall, bungee jumping, a 10,000 square foot rink, and so much more. For more information on the variety of services, call their friendly staff today at 946-5464 or email kings@candw.ky or visit www.kingsportscenter.com. King Sports Center, your one-stop shop for fitness, recreation, and relaxation.
Come out to the South Coast Bar and Grill and Breakers this Friday, November 13th, as we celebrate Lambert Seymour Labby, celebrating his 52nd year in the Cayman music industry. There will be live entertainment by Rexy and the Impulse Band, along with guest artists celebrating Lammy's 52nd year in the music industry. Music starts at 9 p.m. and goes until 2 a.m. Admission is by donation at the door. Dance the night away to soca, calypso, merengue, and country music with live entertainment by Rexy and the Impulse Band at South Coast Bar and Grill this Friday night.
As the community continues to take precautions from COVID-19 and get ready for the hurricane season, it is important to also protect our environment, which ultimately helps us live healthier, happier lives. Let's always remember, proper disposal of masks and other PPE, as with your normal garbage, avoid littering, and do not include any trash in your recycling. Protect yourselves and keep our islands clean. For full guidance, visit www.deh.gov.ky.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
All right, welcome back to Talk Today. I'm Kathy Miller, filling in for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks, and we are here with Cayman Water. We have Carlene Singh and Manuel Thomas from Cayman Water. And from Jasmine, we have Felicia McLean, and we are discussing the 8th annual Pete Ribbons Memorial Ride and Run, which takes place Sunday, the 22nd of November. You can register at caymanwater.com. There's a little link on the site there that'll take you to the registration. Or I believe you can also register in person at, like if I was going to go sign up, let's say I didn't have a computer and I need to go sign up for this. How do I register?
Sure, we'd be happy to have anyone come to the office and ask for myself, Carlene, or Akira, just at reception, saying they would like to register, and we'll happily do that. In fact, we've had some already come in. But we are receiving registrations the morning of the event. In fact, that's usually where we have, lots of a good turnout.
Well, a lot of people look for the weather, but we do want to encourage people to pre-register beforehand because it just makes it a much smoother process for everybody. Now, some may not know where the offices are, so if you could let our listeners know.
Sure. Our office is at Regatta Office Park, Windward 3, 4th floor, so it's the building that's closest to the bypass, just across from Costulas there. And like I said, the receptionist, Miss Annette, she'll gladly have anyone come and get their information. And the event itself is at the Abel Castillo Waterworks, which is just off of the bypass as well on Peninsula Way. So just after Lime Tree Bay, going north, you can't miss it on the bypass. Going north, it's on the right-hand side.
Right, it's like a white building, right?
Mm-hmm. White and blue.
Big white.
And they see the big tanks.
Yeah, the big tanks, big white tanks.
Just like in Governors.
And it's across Costulas as well.
Yeah, it's all
the other direction.
Right in that area.
It's going to be difficult to miss it.
Which is good because big wide road in this area. So.
Right.
You have that advantage of, it's not a narrow area. It's very well lit.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Plenty of parking.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
To me, it's a great, safe place to hold an event such as a 5 or a 10K, and even the ride part of it.
Yeah, and just to add about the 10K too, because the avid cyclists would do the 40K, but the 10K is a very comfortable ride as well because they're the cycle lanes, right on the bypass. So
right.
For anyone who wants to try something, other than walking, if they do have the bike, it's comfortable.
If anybody wants to lend me a bike, I will gladly take your bike and go participate in this event. Felicia, before the break, you were telling us how important it is for events such as this Pete Ribbons Memorial Ride and Run, how important it is to help the proceeds that will go from it to help Jasmine operate. Mm-hmm. What are some of those services that people don't necessarily know what you do, what hospice care is about?
Well, the first thing I want to say, because it continues to wow me almost every other day when I have admission intakes, is Jasmine provides all of its service free of charge. There is no cost. People go, well, how much does it cost for the nurse to visit? There's no cost. How much does it cost to have equipment brought out to our house? There is no charge. It's all for free. Any support that we offer and everything that we do is all for free. A lot of the things that we do tend to do is we become, the best way to put it is like the nurse in the family. So if you have a friend that's a doctor or a nurse, and something happened to you, the first thing you do is you call your friend and you go, hey, this is what happened to me. What should I do? Or the doctor said this. What does that mean?
Yes.
We become that to our families. We go in and we become their nurse. We become their friend. We're going to guide them with their symptom management. We're going to guide them with making decisions. We're going to guide them and ensure that they're have the best quality of life based on what they want. We make no decisions for our families. We simply offer suggestions. And then that way the family have the knowledge to make informed decisions about their care and what matters most to them. And our goal is that no one suffers in silence or dies alone. And so we're there to partner with them through their journey. It's not just for the end, which is why we rebranded to Jasmine. It is also the palliative portion. So people suffering with Lou Gehrig's disease, people suffering with MS, people suffering with Alzheimer's, dementia, you name it, any disease that's a life-limiting disease and they're struggling to cope with their symptoms, they can invite us into their care and we'd be happy to help, brainstorm, troubleshoot, whatever the situation is, what issues they're having, whether they're social, whether they're physical, to help them to have that best quality of life and to help the family cope with it as well. And then we just journey with them. And even after the patient does pass, if they do stay on our services, sometimes they come off of their palliative, but if they do stay through and end up within hospice and die with us, we will still follow that family for 1 year after. So unlike when someone dies in the hospital, there's no one calling after you leave. There's no one checking on you. We will check in with our families for 1 full year at minimum to ensure that they are healing well, because grief is going to be real and there's going to be a loss, but they need to continue to heal, to recover, to come back into that community and continue to thrive. And so we do all of that for free.
That's a really wonderful reach after the person has passed and ensuring it doesn't just end there in those senses, and ensuring that their family, those that were always a part of this, that are checking in on that, person whose life was lost, that they too are being looked after in that sense. So grief comes in many different stages and it's waves and everybody deals with it differently. So the fact that Jasmine will come out and say for at least a year and check up on you and make sure you're okay, things going well, that's a wonderful service. Very caring, very, very caring service to provide. So it's a wonderful thing.
I need it. I mean, people are going to surround the person up until about the funeral. And then after the funeral, people just kind of fade away. People go back to their busy lives. And the person is often just left then to themselves to figure out how to put their shoes on, get dressed in the morning, and go out and face the world. And it doesn't mean they're not hurting inside. It doesn't mean they're not still struggling. And normally no one's going to ask the questions because you're back at work, and they probably don't want to talk about it because it's like, we don't want to keep bringing it up. But that person might still need someone to lean on. And so we remind them that we're there, that they're not alone, that we have the support, whether they're coming out to our lunch club programs, whether they are joining our memory circle group that we have, whatever it is they need, we do our best to try to meet it. We're still not where we want to be. There's tons of stuff we're trying to add to make it even better. But whatever we do have, they have access to it for free.
Well, which is excellent. And for the ambition to want to add more is a great one to have, but it's also... you need funding for it.
Yep.
And so nothing just happens operational-wise.
Everything costs something.
Behind the scene, absolutely. So nothing's necessarily free in that sense because you need funds to make it happen. And that's why events such as the Pete Ribbons Memorial Ride and Run, Sunday, the 22nd of November, is really important because you might just think, oh, it's another walk-run or another ride. But that's not it. The way that you're contributing to society, these small amounts from $10, or you can donate as much as you want.
Yep,
right? That was said earlier.
Yeah,
You don't have to just pay the fee to go into the category you're going to be entering for this ride and run. You can donate even more money, and you're helping people in your community to survive a little longer, to hold on to their life a little longer, to receive the care they need, and then once they pass, aftercare for their family as well.
Yeah. And what's so amazing about these type of events particularly is that sometimes when Jasmine does their events, we do try to get everything underwritten so that all the funds come there, but there's usually some outlay of cost because we had to put something together. When an organization like this says, we will do it for you, and that's all covered, then we get 100% of the ticket sales that come in, and then they're matching it. It doesn't get better than that from an organization standpoint. So if there are other organizations out there who want to look for something to help, these are key. And for people who really want to give, 100% of your $10 or $20 is going to the cause, because there's no overhead for us because the company has sponsored it. It's the best fundraiser you can ask for.
Awesome, excellent.
So happy to do it.
Well, yeah, there's a very personal connection there, being that the former general manager, you said, right? Yeah, Pete Ribbons was in hospice care at that time, right? And Felicia, you said, and so for me, this is the beginning of your career with them. That you helped care for this man in his final days, really. Right. So it's a different personal connection for you as well there.
Yeah,
and the Pete Ribbons family, they pretty much all participate here as well. So it's really a family event. I mean, you have the competitive guys that will really try to be the first.
It's okay.
It's okay. But I would get that most of the participants they are there to have fun and to contribute to Jasmine.
Right.
And there will be a box there. I mean, if you want to contribute with more, I mean, it's going to be difficult with the tickets because it's pre-established. So if you go to the website, you just have those tiers. You have to pay that. But there will be a box in the event, and if they want to come to our office to contribute more, you can do it. So you can do it on the day. Just bring a $50 note, and you just deposit in the box, and that's it. So it's no problems at all. I mean, it's all going to Jasmine.
Right.
We won't keep any penny of that.
And earlier you had mentioned there's going to be some prizes for the participants, right?
Right.
So also for businesses that say, hey, I do want to contribute to this. Let me donate something that perhaps you hadn't been able to reach out to so far to buy these prizes for the participants. Who should they get in touch with? How can they speak to you and say, hey, we'd like to donate towards this cause, either through monetary donation or through prizes that they can offer?
Yeah, they can contact directly, or Carlene or myself. Or you can go to our office. So just call our office and ask for Carlene or Manuel or Kira.
Okay.
And we'll be happy to answer your phone calls and discuss whatever you want to do. I mean, it's really looking forward to get as more participants and more people that really are willing to contribute. We don't know if in the future we won't need this type of services.
Totally,
so we don't know.
I pray I won't.
I mean, pray I won't, but we don't know. I mean, we don't.
We'll likely know somebody, though. So if we might not need it, we'll most likely know somebody who
we will
does.
know somebody that does. And so we are really contributing to, and the fact that it's free, on this island, you don't see a lot of free services like this. This is really amazing.
I agree, absolutely. Is there any final thoughts before we wrap up the show? Anything you want our listeners to know about this Pete Ribbons 8th Annual Memorial Ride and Run?
We're just asking everybody to show up, register, sign up, show up, and have a great, fun morning, knowing that you are contributing to a very, very amazing cause. So it's really all about that.
Right. So remember, you can go to Cayman Water and register in person, or you can go online to caymanwater.com/PRMR. And there's 4 different categories you can register in. The 40-kilometer bike ride starts at 6:30 a.m. It's $20 entry fee, or whatever else you'd like to add on top of the $20. The 10-kilometer bike ride from 7:30 a.m., $15 entry fee. 5-kilometer run or walk from 7:30 a.m., $15 entry fee. And under 14s are $10 for their entry fee. You can bring pets. You can most likely bring a pram, stroller. It's a family event. Enjoy. There'll be pets don't pay.
No.
My dog would be delighted to know that. She doesn't pay for anything, apparently. I do. But that's how you can register. And you can also register on the day of. However, they're encouraging it to be beforehand because we're going to have some refreshments there. We're going to have some other things going on. And they just want to have the numbers under control, really.
Yeah, exactly.
So please do join Cayman Water in helping raise funds for Jasmine in the 8th Annual Pete Ribbons Memorial Ride and Run, which takes place Sunday, the 22nd of November. And thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you very much as well.
And we're at the end of Talk Today. My first one on my own. So thanks, guys, for joining me.
All right.
Congratulations.
Good. Fantastic.
You made it easy.
Thank you. You made it easier.
Talk Today. But I do have some questions. Talk Today.
Talk Today is brought to you by Fidelity Bank. For all your banking needs, visit fidelitygroup.com. Fidelity, we're good for you.